to birthday card number 5. So I'm starting off with this Sweet November Prairie image called Daphne's Balloon. And I've already die cut a piece of white cardstock with my Spellbinders Label 8 die. And I stamped the image with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And then I've already stamped the image onto some Eclipse masking tape. And I cut out just the balloons and the little girl. You can just leave the strings. You don't need to even attempt to they don't need to be masked anyway. And then I took some CC Designs cloud dies and I ran them through my die cut machine several times with the Eclipse tape and die cut several little clouds, just like so. And then I just placed them kind of randomly all over the image with the intent that I'm going to airbrush a background. So I'm just using my little Copic airbrush kit and a BG45 marker. Been getting a lot of requests to show just like do a kind of how-to or info video about airbrushing. It's on my list. I hope to get to it soon. But yeah, once I've got the color I wanted, and you saw there I tested it just on a scrap of cardstock to make sure it looked the way I wanted it to, and then it's just a matter of airbrushing it on. So I just don't go in light layers. And yeah, I build it up as I go along till I get the color as dark as I want it to be. I just kind of let it be a little bit gradient. I don't want to do just like solid color. Just kind of a light amount of color so that these little clouds will show up. So once I'm done, it's just a matter of peeling off the clouds. And then you can see the background. So I got those all off, and then I just used a pair of scissors to remove the last two since they're stuck down pretty good. And there we go. And then before I get on to the main image here, I decided I was going to do the same thing to the inside of the card, just along the bottom. So I just reused a few of the little cloud die cuts that I'd already cut out. So just kind of stuck those into place and then flipped that upside down a little bit. My intent was to have the clouds kind of along the bottom of the inside of the card, and then it would just fade to white. So then you've got plenty of space to write something on. So again, same thing, just fiddled with it till I got the color how I wanted, and just obviously using, like pulling it further away from the cardstock so that it would fade to white. So quickly got that airbrushed. Oh, and always make sure you like protect your surface. I'm just using a Tim Holtz craft mat. That's why I put that there underneath, so that I'm not getting like Copic spray color like all over everything. So yeah, and then before I get on to coloring the actual image, I'm going to stamp my sentiment because I wanted to make sure I got the sentiment in place and perfect before I went to all the work of coloring, and then if I ended up messing up the sentiment and ruining the whole thing. So, and also because it's been like a month actually since I made a card. All the videos I've posted the last month I had made some time ago before vacation, so this is the first card I've made in, yeah, over a month. So my brain is just being sluggish, and it's taking me a lot longer to figure things out and to just do anything. So I got the sentiment stamped. It was from my AmyR birthday sentiment set, and I stamped it with VersaFine ink. And then for the coloring for her skin, I'm just keeping it really simple. I'm just using E00, E01, and E02. They're all right next to each other on the spectrum, so they pretty much blend themselves. Very simple, not a whole lot of work involved. People are noticing I've been switching up my skin tones lately, and it's more just, I guess, for boredom, like just trying different skin tones, because you know, you do the same thing for so long, it just gets boring, and it's just fun to try out different ones and see how you like them. So this time I thought I'd try this one, and the fact that it was just a simple color combo to use because it just blends really nicely. And then as always, the R20 just gave her a little bit of blush for her cheeks. And then ignore the hair, I'll get to that in a minute. Just, yeah, don't even look at it, it's horrible. So I started coloring her dress and then decided I wanted to use the exact same color for the balloons. So I left the dress, went on to the balloons. I'm just using RV91, which is just a really light kind of purpley color. Put down a bit of that. And then I took my Zero, my colorless blender, and went over that quite heavily to press that really deeply into the cardstock. I'm kind of going for, I wanted to make the balloons look a little bit more transparent. So then I added a little bit of RV93, blended that out again with the RV91, and then used my Zero again to blend that even deeper in the cardstock. I wanted it to push the color in deeper, but at the same time I didn't want to go too much, because if you go too far and really saturate the cardstock with the colorless blender, it'd start smearing the airbrush work that I did earlier. So I did the same thing with YG03 and then YG quadruple 0, and you can see I added a little bit of the green to the purple balloon, so it almost looks like you can kind of see it through the purple. It's kind of really the first time I've ever attempted doing this, so my work isn't perfect, but I kind of got the idea across anyway. So yeah, same thing, used my colorless blender to kind of blend everything out, and then just left it as is, and then I went back to the purple balloon and just added a little bit more to the right side of it, and then again blended it out with my colorless blender just to finish it off. So that finished off the balloons, and then yeah, the hair, what a disaster. I deleted it right out of the video. I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was kind of like trying to do blonde streaks around, I don't know what. It just, yeah, it looked horrible. So I just went back in with my E25 marker. I'd use E25, 27, and 29 on her hair, and I just went back in with the E25, the lightest, and just blended all of that like right out. So you can still see a few of the little like strands and whatnot, a little bit of texture, but just covered up the mess I'd made of her hair. So once that was done, now I can go on to her dress. So I had already laid down the RV91, and then I went in with 93. And then I'm just adding some RV95, which is my darkest. I'm just giving it a little bit of definition to make it look like the dress is kind of flowing while she's up in the air. And then blend out the 95 with the 93. So same system as always, working lightest to darkest and then darkest to lightest. So got that a little bit blended, and then finally blending everything together with my RV91. So once I've got all that blended, that's when I noticed I missed a little spot on the waistband of her dress. Just quickly covered that, and then for the little leaves, just the same color using the balloons, the YG03, and then for her little flower I just decided to grab my RV06 just to make it pink. So finally, once I've got everything colored, I wanted to pop that onto the card base, and I wanted it to stand out a bit, so I was just using some large dimensionals that I get from Jody, and then peeled off all the backing and then popped that onto the card base, which I already showed that I did the inside of. And then of course, as always, I could not leave it as is and wanted to add a little bit of shimmer. So I'm just using a Copic at You glitter pen for her hair. It's not going to show up really in the video, and I don't think you'll be able to see it in pictures, but in real life it just gives it the little teeniest bit of shimmer on her hair. So really cute in real life. So it just kind of finishes off hair, and plus it just helped cover up the mess I'd made of it, so yeah. And then of course had to add just a teeny bit of stickles. I'm just using diamond stickles and just barely dabbing it onto the image, using a really light touch, hardly squeezing it out at all. So it still gives it sparkle, but just barely any. Because in real life it looks even less than what you see here on the video, because once it dried, it just gives it the teeniest bit of sparkle. So nothing too crazy this time. And then yeah, I decided to leave the inside of the card and not stamp a sentiment, and just kept things just clean and simple and fun. So yeah, as always, there'll be a link below to my blog post with links to the supplies used, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!